This is Late Edition News at 10 with Ann Gownley. Sports with Beth Mensinger. Meteorologist Joe Garbacik. And senior news analyst L.A. Jerome.
It was the 10th murder in 10 months, and it has the Wyoming Valley on edge. Good evening, and this is WYLN's Late Edition for Monday, October 14th, 2013. I'm Ann Gownley. Michael Onley, known to many as DJ Mo, was gunned down near Outsiders Bar on South Main Street around 12:15 Sunday morning. This marks the 10th fatal shooting in Wilkes-Barre in 10 months. Onley was taken to Geisinger, Wyoming Valley in Plains Township, where he was pronounced dead from a gunshot wound to the head. Police do not have any suspects and still do not have a motive. They say it was an isolated incident. Luzerne County District Attorney Stephanie Salavantis said her office and state police are assisting with the investigation. Investigators have been speaking with people who witnessed the shooting. Onley is a native of Wilkes-Barre and a well-known DJ in the area. Saturday night, he was a DJ at an event to benefit a cancer patient free of charge. Throughout his years, Onley became an advocate against drugs and violence and held several functions to promote it. His brother Anthony was also gunned down as a bystander in South Carolina shooting in February of 2012. Onley leaves behind a fiancé and a 10-year-old son. An autopsy was scheduled for 1 o'clock today at Wilkes-Barre General Hospital. 26-year-old Armani Johnson of Wilkes-Barre was arrested on assault charges. He is accused of stabbing Justin Barna in August of 2011. The attack happened when Barna refused to stash drugs at his home in Wright Township. Police found Johnson about 2 weeks after the assault at his sister's home in Wilkes-Barre. Johnson was sentenced to 5.5 to 13 years for aggravated assault. He will also serve a 15 to 5-year sentence for another aggravated assault charge in connection with the case. A ruling as to if the shooting of 26-year-old Jonathan Gray was justified is expected sometime this week. Luzerne County District Attorney Stephanie Salavantis will be addressing those results. As reported on Friday evening, there was a planned protest every day by the family and friends of Jonathan Gray, but that did not happen. WYLN was told during Friday's march by family and friends that they would return every day until they obtained justice and information about the shooting, which occurred on October 5th. According to Gray's sister, Veronica, the next march may occur tomorrow when City Hall reopens after the Columbus Day holiday. State police are still gathering information on the shooting for the Luzerne County District Attorney's Office, who is leading the investigation. Police and family are giving different accounts of what happened that morning. Wilkes-Barre City Police say a white man with a black pistol tucked in his waistband robbed a Turkey Hill on East Main Street on Sunday night. It happened around 9:25. The man showed his handgun by raising his shirt to a clerk and stated, "Give me all the money in the drawer. I don't want to hurt you." The clerk handed the suspect an undetermined amount of money. The suspect that police are looking for was wearing a oversized black t-shirt, blue jeans, gray Nike sneakers, and a backwards black hat with a gray brim. Bishop Joseph Bambera helped celebrate 50 years of faith. The County Transit Authority in Wilkes-Barre is adding more routes to accommodate more people. LCTA has gotten requests from many people to add more trips to Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs Casino and the Steamtown Mall in Scranton. To accommodate employees of the casino, stops throughout the city will be added as well. For a full listing of all new routes, you can log on to its new website at www.lctabus.com or call them at 570-287-8463. And now Bishop Joseph Bambera helped celebrate 50 years of faith at St. John Bosco Church in Cunningham. WYLN was there on Sunday morning and talked with Bishop Bambera about this very special anniversary. It's been 50 years since St. John Bosco in Cunningham opened its doors to the public. Sunday, hundreds of parishioners gathered to celebrate the anniversary together. Pastors past and present, including Bishop of the Scranton Diocese, the Most Reverend Joseph Bambera, were joined together to celebrate. After Mass, we spoke with Bishop Bambera, who says he was thrilled to come back to celebrate 50 years of faith with a parish where he served as pastor from 1998 to 2001.
What I found so significant about this gathering today as we celebrated not only an anniversary, but something of a refurbishment of the church, the sanctuary. We dedicated a new altar, which actually isn't new, but it is made up of the original altar of the church that was in the very small sanctuary of the original church building, which is a part of this major complex here in Cunningham. And it was restored and reworked to fit into the new sanctuary. The same thing with the baptistry. And of course, the beautiful crucifix that hangs over the altar was the original crucifix that hung in St. John Bosco Church when it opened 50 years ago.
As Bishop Bambera noted, the primary focal points such as the altar, baptistry, and the crucifix of the parish are essential to Mass and have been there since the inception of the parish. He says these points mean so much to each and every parishioner.
I think it's interesting that for all that our memories provide us with today, for all of the thoughts that come into our minds and in our hearts as we reflect upon this beautiful, beautiful space, that what we reflect upon more than anything else are not the furnishings of a church like this, not the colors or the beautiful images, as much as they touch our hearts and create for us a sense of pride. But what really flows into our minds and in our hearts are people. Maybe a former pastor, maybe a dear friend, maybe a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, somebody that you really never got to know too well, but they touched you in your journey throughout this parish. It's people who make up a parish. It's people who give life to a parish. And it's people in whom the Lord lives who have made this community strong and filled with life. We gather Sunday after Sunday around the table of the Lord. Through baptism, we come to the table of the Lord to be nourished so that we can go forth and build the church, so that we can go forth and live the gospel. Our new Holy Father, Pope Francis, talks constantly about the need for us to take what we experience in a church and to give it life and flesh and breath. Live it. At the end of the Mass, we say, go forth and live the gospel. Go, the Mass is ended. Go forth for mission. What I have always found to be such a blessing for me personally and for this broader community, the people of St. John Bosco Parish know how to do that. And that's why this day is so significant.
As the Mass continued, Bishop Bambera says he was honored to take part in Sunday's Mass with men who have come after him to celebrate 50 years as a parish.
Being with Father Ivanko, who was pastor here for a number of years subsequent to my time here, and with Father Lambert, who's the current pastor. It's a great opportunity for me as bishop to be together with priests, men who, as a bishop in his home diocese, I have known for many, many years. Father Lambert and I started school together, so we have been friends a long time. It's a great blessing for me to celebrate the Eucharist with them and to be a part of such a wonderful people as we have all experienced in many and different ways here at St. John Bosco Parish.
Luzerne County now has fewer than 95,000 registered voters. That's because over 7,000 inactive registrations were purged. Under the federal motor voter law, counties are allowed to purge registrations which haven't been active after 8 years. Before motor voters, counties used to do it every 2 years. The statewide SURE system of cross-checking registrations in all 67 counties flagged the 7,000 which were purged. They were voters who hadn't voted in several years and whose addresses didn't match those listed with the post office. Election Bureau Director Marissa Caprist Barber's office mailed letters to all 7,000 and eliminated those who returned verification they no longer reside in the county. She will compile and release a statistical breakdown next week. Jocelyn K. Keller of Dorrance Township was reported missing on Sunday night. State police are now searching for the 17-year-old. Police reported that she may be in the company of an unknown black male. Keller is approximately 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing about 150 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes, pierced ears, and a small scar on the outside corner of her right eye. Anyone with information can contact state police at 570-459-3890. Well, did you hear about the story where the man in San Francisco who was shot in a crowded train and no one saw the suspect because of their phones? Well, it happened, and there are several other incidents. King La has the details.
The man looks agitated, shifting back and forth, sometimes smiling for no reason. It's 9:30 at night. The San Francisco Muni train car is crowded with a dozen other passengers. Police say this man is armed and about to murder someone. What happens next is something we can't show you. The gunman lifts his weapon 3 to 4 times in plain view. The dozen or so other passengers on the train, none of them notices. Why? According to the prosecutor, their faces were all buried in their cell phones. It's not until the gun fires that people look up. Shot in the back and killed 20-year-old Justin Valdez, a promising San Francisco State student, seemingly picked at random. He was simply heading home after classes that night. How close are these people to him?
Some of those people are probably no more than about 2 to 3 feet away from him.
San Francisco's district attorney is disheartened that no one was paying attention.
We're seeing people that are so disconnected with their surroundings. And we know that this is not unique. We're seeing people being robbed. People are getting hurt.
Gascon is as aghast as people were in 1964, when Kitty Genovese was brutally stabbed at her apartment building in Queens, New York. Numerous people heard the attack, but assumed others would call for help, the now famous bystander effect. Today's social phenomenon, people are too absorbed in their smartphones to be aware of what's happening around them.
Now it looks like he's turning into another driveway.
It's now commonplace to see examples of it. A man so engrossed in his phone he doesn't see a giant bear right in front of him. Or another texter walking right into a fountain. Classmates of Justin Valdez are feeling the impact of this behavior.
That's just people's stupidity, I guess, and ignorance towards what's going on around them.
And there's no sign of this changing. As we watched at the very train stop that Valdez boarded for the last time, students were still buried in their phones.
Well, if you're planning to go to your son or daughter's sporting event this week, have fun cheering, but don't overdo it. There might be consequences. INN's Susan Hendricks has more.
What would a game be like without enthusiastic fans? So it's not surprising that many of these fanatics can lose their voices after a rousing sporting event. But now doctors are finding they could be seriously injuring their vocal cords in the process.
When you use a very loud, explosive voice, that you can cause significant damage to your vocal cords, and that can occur with just one yell.
And that can lead to serious damage.
A single yell will either produce a hemorrhage that will go away or a polyp or hemorrhagic polyp that may be permanent unless you have it surgically removed.
So how do you know if you've damaged your vocal cords?
You'll start to hear your voice crack a little bit or get a little bit raspy, and that should be your clue that, oh, something is wrong here.
And what can you do to save them? Physicians recommend you keep quiet, give the cords a rest. Drink water to keep the cords moist. If you must cheer, warm up your cords before the game. And doctors recommend once you warm up, yell with one blast, not with a lot of words.
Yelling and saying words is actually a lot harder than just like holding out a tone like a singer would do.
If you have hoarseness that lasts 24 hours or longer, it could mean possible problems. You may need therapy or even surgery to correct the problem. It all depends on how enthusiastic you've been. I'm Susan Hendricks.
Some interesting facts there. And coming up now, we have tickets to give away for Big Bad Voodoo Daddy at the Wiltse Center this Friday night. 2013 marks the 20th anniversary of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy's remarkable arrival onto the music scene. The high-energy 9-piece ensemble continues to remind the world that it's still cool to swing big band style. If you'd like to swing to the music, you can win a pair of tickets right now on us. Just dial 570-459-1869, extension 1172. Leave your name and your number for a chance to win, and we'll pick one name at random. And remember, you can only win once every 60 days from any of our drawings. This is for the 10 o'clock live newscast only, so dial now and good luck. And that is a look at tonight's top stories. Time now to check in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbaczyk in the Bedrock Gardens Weather Center with the latest on this chilly weather. Joe?
Thank you very much, Ann. Boy, it is definitely a nice evening across all of our area. We don't have any precipitation to deal with. Temperature-wise, actually not too bad for this time of year. But we have some changes to talk about in our forecast. Before all is said and done, it looks like we're going to be looking at some much chillier air on the move. We can see where that chilly air is now across the nation. You have to go way out by Great Falls and down through Denver, where temperatures are only in the 30s, Bismarck, where it's 40 degrees right now. As we go into the near future, I think we're going to be looking at some much chillier air, so hopefully you'll be getting a chance to enjoy these warmer temperatures while they last. I'll be talking about the changes coming up next.
Join the American Cancer Society October 27th for the Survivor Runway Spooktacular from 1 to 3 p.m. at the top of the 80s. All proceeds from the event will benefit the Look Good, Feel Better program, providing wigs to cancer patients. Join them for fun and fashion. There'll be a tricky tray, door prizes, celebrity guest bartenders, and State Representative Tara Toohill will join both patient and caregiver models in showcasing some of the season's high fashion. Light refreshments and a cash bar will be available. Bring a friend and take a Sunday afternoon to help the American Cancer Society and the Look Good, Feel Better program.
For all your projects, large and small, Bedrock Gardens has it all. They are fully stocked and ready to fill your order. Rubber mulch and rubber curbing to match. Lots of color choices to pick from. Wall stone, natural stone, full pallets ready to go. Their bins are full with rich colored quality mulch that will look wonderful all season long. Finish off your fabulous outdoor space with their quality patio furniture and easy to assemble fire pits. Everything you need for your summer projects. Delivery available, or just stop by and they will load you up. Bedrock Gardens, locally owned and operated. Call today.
Managing risk is more than just buying an insurance policy. At Dreyfus, our approach is different. We have 25 risk management professionals who have the tools and experience to help our clients avoid and survive unexpected events. We can help you with risk transfer, OSHA requirements, safe workplace, cybersecurity, and claims management. All of these go well beyond an insurance policy. We're also independent, so we can access dozens of insurance carriers like Grange Insurance, who can insure your auto, home, business, and life. Dreyfus Insurance since 1901 and Grange Insurance since 1935. We're committed to helping you manage risk.
Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. Come see for yourself. They have the freshest selection of meats, cheese, and produce. Baked goods made fresh on premises. They have an in-store butcher who is happy to accommodate your special orders. Be sure to stop in and check out their unadvertised specials. You'll find them throughout the store. See their flyer for weekly specials. Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. This week at Heritage, we feature Farmer's Iced Tea regular diet for only $1.88 a gallon.
Why should you visit Penn State Hazleton?
Because if you come to our Penn State Day open house, there's no application fee. We have fun.
We have the Lion.
We have new scholarship money.
Students are scoring internships
all over the country. Penn State is ranked #1
by corporate recruiters.
And this is your chance to see campus, talk to students, meet professors, and check out everything Penn State has to offer.
Penn State Hazleton.
Check us out at psu.edu/visit Hazleton.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Cloud. I love books, appreciate the efforts of local authors, respect those who recognize the need to know our history, and this week, local author Chris Cannon joins me to talk about his new book, All We Like Sheep, a thought-provoking read and one so timely in light of what's going on in our nation and our communities. This week on The Storm, only on WYLN TV.
Well, we continue to see dry conditions across all of northeastern and central Pennsylvania, still remaining dry from Wilkes-Barre through Scranton, out through Berwick, Bloomsburg, Williamsport, and Lewisburg. And this dry weather is going to continue to stay with us even as we head through the nighttime hours. And tomorrow, shaping up to be a pretty nice looking day across our area. 56 degrees, our live Lehigh tire conditions. Outside our station in Hazleton, pressure coming in at 30.20 inches of mercury. And we got through the day without seeing any rainfall, and the winds are fairly light right now across our area. Our Robert Stevens Face and Body Almanac page for the day, 64 and 46. Compare that to the averages of 61 and 41, 84 and 29. The record high and low still stand. 7:15, 6:24, sunrise and sunset for tomorrow. So 40s for the most part. Waking up this morning, but we rebounded nicely with temperatures generally in the 60s to near 70 degrees. And tomorrow is going to be pretty much a repeat of what we saw today, temperature-wise, looking very nice. And then some changes will be taking place as we go into our Wednesday and Wednesday night. 49 now in New Angola, 57 in Berwick, 57 in Bloomsburg, 55 in Monoy City and 56 degrees in Danville. Satellite and radar, there's been a couple of clouds lurking across parts of the state of Pennsylvania. Any of this green that you see here, it's nothing more than a clutter off of the radar sites, and nothing is falling. And we're going to continue to see those dry conditions as we head through tonight. Tomorrow, we'll see a mixture of clouds and sunshine. And as we start going into tomorrow night, a few more clouds on the way, and an increase in clouds going into our Wednesday. And then by later Wednesday, especially as we go into, I think, late afternoon or evening, we're going to be looking at some more showers across our area. And those rain showers are going to continue with us as we go into our Wednesday night. And then they should move out of here going into our Thursday. We'll start to see improving conditions. Again, tomorrow, looking like a very nice looking day across our region temperature-wise. And then as we start going into our Wednesday, notice the noontime hour temperatures in every location generally should be already up into the 60s. So this high pressure, this ridge, this dry wedge, if you will, continues to hold on for at least one more day before the showers that are out toward the west start to make their way into our region. And then after that, it's going to bring in some cooler air as we start going into this upcoming weekend, and especially next week. Looking at some of those long-range models, still looking like as we go into next week, by next weekend, and then as we start going into Halloween, we may be struggling to make it out of the 40s, maybe lower 40s for daytime highs, 20s at night. There's a possibility, I think, at this point. So we got 40s for tonight, definitely not bad across our area, and tomorrow a statewide 60s with some locations in the lower 70s. Extended forecast brought to you by the Wire guys, a division of Arc Electric. So we got those showers moving in later Wednesday and Wednesday nights, and they get out of here for Thursday, improving conditions for our Thursday. Friday, Saturday, looking pretty nice, temperatures near 60, and it gets even cooler going into Monday and Tuesday of next week with highs only in the lower 50s. Our evening Pennsylvania lottery numbers: the daily 071, the big 4 2428. Quinto numbers looking like this: 97289, and the cash 5 221 34 36 and 39. We'll have more late edition for you coming up after these commercial messages, including sports. Stick with us.
A winning smile. It's not the secret to success, but it sure helps. Protect your smile by visiting Dr. Weiss for complete dental services. Dr. Weiss offers a full-service denture laboratory on premises, offering dentures in one day. 3 dentists, 4 hygienists, and a team of caring technicians and assistants specializing in quality dentures and repairs, complete general dentistry, extractions, cleaning, and caps. Dr. Weiss, where you can have new dentures in one day.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. People who are chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and heavy hitters. More than what your Cooper tires can do, it's about what you can do with your Cooper tires. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
Hi, sir. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Can I just get your name for our mailing list?
Yeah, sure. Smitty Jones.
Is that the same Smitty Jones that lives at 1 Phillips Street?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't complete this transaction.
What do you mean? I'm just buying a candy bar.
Unfortunately, your credit score is too low.
What do you mean? I'm paying cash.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to settle down.
Listen, I'm not freaking out.
Security!
Come on.
Clean up. Check out 15. Clean up.
Even if your credit is this bad, we can still help. Penn Financial Group. We stop foreclosures, stop sheriff sales, reduce or eliminate your debt, and improve your credit rating, guaranteed. Call us today for a free consultation. Penn Financial Group. Get credit happy.
Swing to Big Bad Voodoo Daddy October 18th at the Alice E. Wiltsey Performing Arts Center at the Historic Castle in Hazleton. 2013 marks the 20th anniversary of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy's remarkable arrival onto the music scene. And today, the high-energy 9-piece ensemble continues to remind the world that it's still cool to swing big band style. Join the party. Shake and move to the groove October 18th. WYLN, your first choice for locally produced shows like Chef Lou, Jen-tastic Sweets, Off the Beaten Path, The Storm, and more. Find out how you can stretch your advertising dollars and be a part of the WYLN TV lineup. Call 570-459-1869, extension 1302. WYLN, we're your local network.
The Crestwood Lady Comets tennis squad is now one step closer to the District 2 AAA title. The 11-2 team defeated the 9-4 Lady Crusaders of Coughlin earlier today at Kirby Park to move on to the semifinals 3-2. Christy Bowman defeated Dana Schneider in 2 sets in first singles. Brittany Stanton got the win in 2 straight over Aaliyah Shad. In first doubles, Jenny and Stacy Snyder pulled in the decisive third win of the match for the Lady Comets to advance to tomorrow's round. The girls will have their work cut out for them at Kirby Park tomorrow against Abington Heights. That one is set to begin at 11 a.m. The Bloomsburg Huskies football squad had a stellar weekend, putting together a 45-7 victory over Millersville, pushing the Huskies to a 6-0 record for the third straight season. And with the win, they jumped 3 spots to number 6 in the AFCA Division II top 25 poll. Bloom is also the top-ranked football squad in the PSAC division, in the PSAC conference. They will head to East Stroudsburg this coming Saturday. Kickoff is scheduled for 1:05. Also on Saturday, the Penn State Nittany Lions shocked the undefeated University of Michigan, who were ranked at 18 in the nation, winning 43-40 after a 4 overtime periods. Today, 2 of the Iron Lions were honored in the Big Ten Conference. Freshman quarterback Christian Hackenberg was named the Big Ten Freshman of the Week for the 3rd time in 6 weeks. He completed 23 of 44 passes for 305 yards with 3 touchdowns and did have 2 interceptions. It was Hackenberg's 3rd 300-yard game performance. Redshirt junior defensive end C.J. Alanian, he was also honored by the Big Ten as the Defensive Player of the Week. Alanian, a Michigan native, had his best game in a Penn State jersey, recording 2.5 sacks and 8 tackles for loss in the victory. He is the 6th Penn State DN to score the Defensive Player of the Week since 1999. This week is another bye week for the Nittany Lions as they prepare for number 4 ranked Ohio State on October 26th. It's a night game. That one is kicking off in Ohio, scheduled for 8 p.m. And the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins hosted their home opener against division rivals, the Hershey Bears, on Saturday night. It was scoreless after the first 20 minutes of play. So we jump right to the second. The Bears would score first as Tomas Kondratek's wrist shot gets by Penn's goalie Jeff Delorier 4 minutes into period number 2, but it did not take long for the Pens to strike back. Brian Gibbons, he will lay the puck for Jason Megna. It's a pretty play right here. Megna will get it right back to Gibbons for the quick shot past Hershey goalie David Leggio. It is 1-1. Then Gibbons will steal the puck away and break off down the ice in a few plays later, setting up Chris Connor. Connor with the backhand in between the posts. The Pens will take the lead. Then the Pens fans did not have to wait too long for another goal. Dominic Ure finds Zach Sill. Wilkes-Barre-Scranton will win their home opener against the rival Bears 3-1. The Pens are back at home on Friday night and looking for their 4th straight win against the Adirondack Phantoms. Ann Galney is coming back after the break with your top story recaps.
As a diabetic, where do I turn for the special healthcare products and advice I need?
Come into your nearby Good Neighbor Pharmacy. We specialize in the unique concerns and needs you have as a diabetic patient. Your Good Neighbor pharmacist has a fully trained staff, stocks a broad selection of the products you need, and takes a personal interest in your health and well-being.
Everyone knows Dan here at Heritage Hill. He's been devoted to our family of residents for over a decade. Experienced, nurturing, exceptional. It's what our care team is all about. Our residents enjoy personal care, homemade meals, day trips, clubs, and social activities. Shepherd's Garden, our memory care neighborhood, ensures a compassionate and secure environment. Come meet us. We're honored to share our hearts, our home, our heritage of caring. Heritage Hill Senior Community in Weatherly. Call today for your free personal tour.
Hi everybody, this is Richie Molinaro, Marketing Director for Fairway Chevrolet in Hazleton. Since Berwick Chevrolet is no longer an authorized Chevrolet dealer, I'd like to personally invite you to join our Fairway family. We'll provide you with the utmost courtesy from Chevrolet sales, service, and parts to our state-of-the-art body shop and auto spot. We have over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock. We're the #1 commercial truck and business elite dealer in Pennsylvania, and we would be honored to be your Chevrolet dealer.
WYLN-CA 35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the children's programming report is on file for public inspection at WYLN, 1057 East 10th Street, Hazleton, PA, during normal business hours, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday.
Michael Onley, known to many as DJ Mo, was gunned down near Outsiders Bar on South Main Street around 12:15 Sunday morning. This marks the 10th fatal shooting in Wilkes-Barre in 10 months. Onley was taken to Geisinger, Wyoming Valley in Plains Township, where he was pronounced dead from a gunshot wound to the head. Police do not have any suspects and still do not have a motive. They say it was an isolated incident. Luzerne County District Attorney Stephanie Salavantis said her office and state police are assisting with the investigation. Investigators have been speaking with people who witnessed the shooting. Onley is a native of Wilkes-Barre and a well-known DJ in the area. Saturday night, he was a DJ and a benefit for a cancer patient free of charge. Throughout his years, Onley became an advocate against drugs and violence and held several functions to promote it. His brother Anthony was also gunned down as a bystander in South Carolina shooting in February of 2012. Onley leaves behind a fiancé and a 10-year-old son. An autopsy was scheduled for 1 o'clock today at Wilkes-Barre General Hospital. 26-year-old Armani Johnson of Wilkes-Barre was arrested on assault charges. He is accused of stabbing Justin Barna in August of 2011. The attack happened when Barna refused to stash drugs at his home in Wright Township. Police found Johnson about 2 weeks later after the assault and his sister's home in Wilkes-Barre. Johnson was sentenced to 5.5 to 13 years for aggravated assault. He will also serve a 15-month to 5-year sentence for another aggravated assault charge in connection with the case. The ruling as to if the shooting of 26-year-old Jonathan Gray was justified is expected sometime this week. Luzerne County District Attorney Stephanie Salavantis will be addressing those results. As we reported on Friday evening, there was a planned protest every day by the family and friends of Jonathan Gray, but that did not happen. WYLN was told on Friday by the family and friends that they would return until they obtained justice and information about the shooting, which occurred on October 5th. According to Gray's sister Veronica, the next march may occur tomorrow when City Hall reopens after the Columbus Day holiday. State police are still gathering information on the shooting for Luzerne County District Attorney's Office, who's leading the investigation. Police and family are giving different accounts of what happened that morning. Bishop Joseph Bambara helped celebrate 50 years of faith at St. John Bosco Church in Cunningham. WYLN was there on Sunday morning and talked with Bishop Bambara about this very special anniversary. It's been 50 years since St. John Bosco in Cunningham opened its doors to the public. Sunday, hundreds of parishioners gathered to celebrate the anniversary together. Pastors past and present, including Bishop of the Scranton Diocese, the Most Reverend Joseph Bambara, were joined together to celebrate. After Mass, we spoke with Bishop Bambara, who says he was thrilled to come back to celebrate 50 years of faith with a parish where he served as pastor from 1998 to 2001.
What I found so significant about this gathering today as we celebrated not only an anniversary but something of a refurbishment of the church, the sanctuary, We dedicated a new altar, which actually isn't new, but it is made up of the original altar of the church that was in the very small sanctuary of the original church building, which is a part of this major complex here in Cunningham. And it was restored and reworked to fit into the new sanctuary. The same thing with the baptistry. And of course, the beautiful crucifix that hangs over the altar was the original crucifix that hung in St. John Bosco Church when it opened 50 years ago.
As Bishop Bambera noted, the primary focal points such as the altar, baptistry, and the crucifix of the parish are essential to Mass and have been there since the inception of the parish. He says these points mean so much to each and every parishioner.
I think it's interesting that for all that our memories provide us with today, for all of the thoughts that come into our minds and in our hearts as we reflect upon this beautiful, beautiful space, that what we reflect upon more than anything else are not the furnishings of a church like this, not the colors or the beautiful images, as much as they touch our hearts and create for us a sense of pride. But what really flows into our minds and in our hearts are people. Maybe a former pastor, maybe a dear friend, maybe a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, somebody that you really never got to know too well, but they touched you in your journey throughout this parish. It's people who make up a parish. It's people who give life to a parish. And it's people in whom the Lord lives who have made this community strong and filled with life. We gather Sunday after Sunday around the table of the Lord. Through baptism, we come to the table of the Lord to be nourished so that we can go forth and build the church, so that we can go forth and live the gospel. Our new Holy Father, Pope Francis, talks constantly about the need for us to take what we experience in a church and to give it life and flesh and breath. Live it. At the end of the Mass, we say, go forth and live the gospel. Go, the Mass is ended. Go forth for mission. What I have always found to be such a blessing for me personally and for this broader community, the people of St. John Bosco Parish know how to do that. And that's why this day is so significant.
As the Mass continued, Bishop Bambera says he was honored to take part in Sunday's Mass with men who have come after him to celebrate 50 years as a parish.
Being with Father Ivanko, who was pastor here for a number of years subsequent to my time here, and with Father Lambert, who's the current pastor, it's a great opportunity for me as bishop to be together with priests, men who, as a bishop in his home diocese, I have known for many, many years. Father Lambert and I started school together, so we have been friends a long time. It's a great blessing for me to celebrate the Eucharist with them and to be a part of such a wonderful people as we have all experienced in many and different ways here at St. John Bosco Parish.
Well, Jocelyn K. Keller of Dorrance Township was reported missing on Sunday night. State police are now searching for the 17-year-old. Police reported that she may be in the company of an unknown black male. Keller is approximately 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing about 150 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes, pierced ears, and a small scar on the outside corner of her right eye. Anyone with information can contact state police at 570-459-3890. Luzerne County now has fewer than 95,000 registered voters. That's because over 7,000 inactive registrants were purged. Under the federal motor voter law, counties are allowed to purge registrations which haven't been active after 8 years. Before counties used to do it every 2 years. The statewide SURE system of cross-checking registrations in all 67 counties flagged the 7,000 which were purged. They were voters who hadn't voted in several years and whose addresses didn't match those listed with the post office. Election Bureau Director Marissa Capel Barker's office mailed letters to all 7,000 and eliminated those whose return verification that they no longer reside in the county. She will compile and release a statistical breakdown next week. I am now joined joined by, as you can see, L.A. Tyrone. L.A., I know you wanted to come on.
Pleasure to be here. I didn't know I was going to be here tonight, though. Yeah,
no, this is exciting. I mean, people want to see you, and that's what we want to do. We want to talk the news. One of the biggest things in the news is what you reported last month, 9 in 9 months, and it was something you were very. It's disheartening, and a lot of people are scared. What have people been saying about this?
Well, the biggest thing that people have been saying is that this guy, Michael Longley, did not appear to be someone you would expect to be a target of this. One of the newspaper stories, the one on the Times Leader, sort of indicated, though it didn't come right out and say that the bullets were not meant for him, he just happened to get in the crossfire. This bar on South Main Street, I was never in it, but from what I understand the way it's laid out, there's like a hip-hop room, and then there's like a white pop room, and there's usually a lot of interaction without any problems. What happened remains to be seen. I really don't know. I know that the DA's office and city police have been trying to interview those who were there that night to find out what happened. As far as the crime problem as a whole, 10 murders in 10 months in Wilkes-Barre. This is not expected. This is like a level you might see in Reading or Harrisburg. It's not Wilkes-Barre.
It's not something that we expected. I mean,
not in this area.
You know, it was kind of rare when we heard 2 in 2 months or 3 in 3, and now we're at
10 and 10. Mayor Tom Layton released his budget last week. One thing he's trying to do is increase the police department. Now, Wilkes-Barre plans to have the optimum is 90 police officers. Hasn't been at 90 for the last several years. For the last, I guess, 2 or 3 years, they've been at 72. Layton proposes adding 10 more, making it 82. So that's pretty close to a full contingency.
Right, and he also had those the promotions that allowed more officers to take those positions. So that also helped as well.
But what the thing is, by adding those 10 officers, he does have them budgeted, so the finances aren't a problem. Logistics are. You got to go through the civil service list. You got to have city council approve all those hires. If he really rushes everything, maybe those 10 officers might be on the street by the end of the year.
Right.
That's being a little optimistic. So things are not good in Wilkes-Barre.
We'll see what happens, but we were talking about the budget just before, and we mentioned that there's no tax hike as well, and that's something that we were wondering if that was actually going to happen because it happened last year for the 2013
there
budget.
was a big tax hike last year. It was 25 mils last year. And now this year is not an election year, and he still produced a budget without a tax hike. So those who don't like Tom Layton can't accuse him of an election year ploy because it's not an election year.
Right.
And this budget actually is a little bit smaller in spending. It's about $44.9 million last year. It's a little under $43 million this year. He's getting a lot of flack for the fact that he got a 3% salary hike. It went from $79,900 to about $83,000.
But he hasn't done that in several years.
He said he has not taken a hike in several years, and this is the first one in several years. It's the same size raise that everybody else got. DeSoy and all the administrators, everybody else, the uniformed employees, the non-uniformed, they got about a 3.5% hike. So it's across the board. It is a high salary for the mayor, but his hike isn't any bigger than anybody else.
And it's also not affecting the people of Wilkes-Barre because they're not getting the tax hike in there.
Right. There is no tax hike in this budget.
So we made sure with that.
In the third-class cities, this is something Harrisburg has to address. If you remember that parking fiasco from last year, he proposed we're going to rent part of the parking. What he's trying to do is find another revenue source for the city. Third-class cities don't have any revenue sources.
And they need it, especially for this police.
Well, but Hazleton's in the same boat, because both Hazleton and Wilkes-Barre are third-class cities. You've got earned income tax, you've got property taxes, and then you got all the other nonsense, the real estate transfer and the licenses and all that stuff. That doesn't account for much. It's the earned income tax and the property taxes, and unless there's a move from Harrisburg, that's what third-class cities rely on. There really isn't anything else.
And, we're talking about elections before with Mayor Layton, and that it's not an election year, so that is a shock that he's not doing that as a ploy. The voter purge, I know I just read about it twice here on the news tonight. What is that specifically?
Well, this is not new. I know the reaction to the story in the newspaper, there were some comments underneath it. Oh, they're taking us off the voting roll, blah blah blah. Counties have been purging voters forever. It used to be every 2 years. If you didn't vote at least once every 2 years, you were dropped. No big deal to go re-register, but you were dropped. 93, 94, the federal motor voter law became, the motor voter drive became law. And counties were not allowed to purge for 8 years. Now, why did they purge it all? The reason they purge it all is within that 8-year time frame. People die, people move, people get married, things are all,
People want to know how many voters are in the county.
It's not only a matter of knowing, it's whether or not there's any voter fraud. Now, several years ago, and it was the State House Democrats who actually came up with this, it's called the SURE system. What it does is it cross-checks the voter registrations of all 67 counties. So if two Ann Gownleys pop up, and one is registered in Bloomsburg and one is registered in Frackville, both counties will contact you and say, hey, are you the other one? If you are and you moved in, the one gets dropped. If you're two different people,
Absolutely, that would help.
But they keep doing that so you don't have a lot of registered, dead people still registered to vote. People who maybe went to college in Wilkes-Barre but are now living in Philadelphia, that they're still registered to vote in Wilkes-Barre. Because those inactive voters, they can be stolen and used for absentee ballots and a lot of different ways to kind of rig an election. So that's why there are purges. It's just done once every 8 years now instead of one every 2 years like it used to be.
Well, thank you very much for that information.
Fun to be here.
Well, we always like when LA comes on and gives us his insight to all of these different...
I think I'm back tomorrow night, too.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
You're back as many times as we can get you on this.
Okay.
Well, and people did miss you, so we want to bring LA back on Late Edition as much as we can. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Coming up next, Beth Mensinger is back with more sports. But first, let's check back in with meteorologist Joe Garbacik and the Bedrock Gardens Weather Center. Joe.
Thank you very much. Definitely a very nice night to be outdoors. Take advantage of this nice weather because as we start going into the future, unfortunately, I have to mention it's going to get cooler, and then eventually colder, and colder. Those words you probably don't want to hear, but it is reality. But before we go to break, the leaves continue to change colors across our area, and over this week and even in the next week, those are the best times if you want to check out the fall foliage colors, as we're getting pretty much to the best times to watch them and see those colors change across our region. So take advantage of that while they're still on the trees. The complete 7-day forecast coming up in just a few.
Swing to Big Bad Voodoo Daddy October 18th at the Alice E. Wiltsey Performing Arts Center at the Historic Castle in Hazleton. 2013 marks the 20th anniversary of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy's remarkable arrival onto the music scene. And today, the high-energy 9-piece ensemble continues to remind the world that it's still cool to swing big band style. Join the party. Shake and move to the groove October 18th.
Your family's good health begins with a great team. That team is the Alliance Medical Group. We're the first healthcare provider in the greater Hazleton area to offer a fully integrated approach to family and specialized medical care. Our expanding network of more than 30 physicians and specialists are trusted by thousands for routine and complex medical treatments. For a convenient appointment at any of our 15 regional offices, simply call 501-4AMG. Alliance Medical Group. Your health, that's our specialty.
This is a home. This is your neighbor's home. This is another home furnished by Grand Central. All these rooms in all these homes makes everybody so happy. It's so easy to do. It's your room made your way. It's local. It's Grand Central. This week at Grand Central, the price on the floor is the price to your door and not 1 cent more. No tax, no delivery, no kidding. It's now. Floor to door prices. Everybody shops Grand Central, making your house a home.
The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated at 542 North Wyoming Street in Hazleton, serving the greater Hazleton area since 1890 and still family owned and operated, offers convenient parking, handicapped accessibility, seating for over 150 people, casket, cremation product showrooms to accommodate traditional, cremation, and pre-planned funerals. The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated, 570-454-3341.
It's Octoberger, the sale's so big they named a month after it, at Berger, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Hazleton.
Hi, Jim Kennedy, Berger Family Dealerships. Experience Buick with a 2014 Buick Verano, 24-month lease for only $219 a month, or the 2014 GMC Sierra, all new, lease it 36 months for only $339.
It's Octoberger at Burger Cadillac Buick GMC, just off I-81, exit 145, Route 93 in Hazleton. Drive with experience.
Off the Beaten Path is a half-hour program that showcases interesting and unique people, places, and things in Pennsylvania. Hosted by Jeff Bonomo, Brian Bromley, and Ken Cara, Off the Beaten Path is fast-paced, lighthearted, and sometimes even downright funny. Each show, we travel to many destinations in Pennsylvania, including restaurants, events, unique landmarks, and we talk with interesting people. So come with us off the Beaten Path.
Coming off the 31-16 win over the Washington Redskins last night, the Dallas Cowboys may be down manpower for next Sunday's game in Philadelphia. Dallas defensive end DeMarcus Ware left last night's game with a quad strain. ESPN is reporting while it's not for sure, Ware most likely will not take the field, and there's a possibility DeMarco Murray will not either on Sunday. The running back strained his MCL in his left knee. Both players underwent MRIs today. The Green Bay Packers are also suffering an injury, taking leading receiver Randall Cobb out of the lineup for a number of weeks. Reports are saying the injury is a sprained posterior crucial ligament in his knee, and he also may have a fractured fibula, and it might be a 4 to 6 week recovery. Cobb is leading the Packers with 29 receptions. And it was a huge game 2 in Boston last night as the Red Sox tied up the series at 1 behind David Ortiz's grand slam and Jared Saltalamacchia's walk-off hit. But the Bo Sox said they weren't looking to knock the ball out of Fenway. They just wanted to wake up their bats, which were silenced by the Detroit pitchers in Game 1.
You know, I just try not to do too much, man. You know, like I try to put a good swing on the ball. Like my idea, not a bad. It wasn't just go out there and hit a grand slam. You know, we've been struggling when it comes down to put a good swing on the ball. Those guys, they've been doing an outstanding job. You know, hitting the spot and keeping hitting off of balance. So if I tell you that I was thinking about hitting the grand slam right there, I'm lying to you right now. We're just trying to put a good swing on the ball, and thanks God it happens.
I was hoping so. No, I mean, like I said, I was really trying to just get the ball over, hit it over to the right side of the field. And when I did pop it up, I kind of, was hoping it was getting out. And then as I saw him getting close to the tarp, I didn't think it was going to. I thought he was going to catch it. And I think if you watch the replay, I was fist pumping when he did drop it. Because that's a big difference between, men on third and one out and men on second still with one out. So, that was a big turning point, I think.
Well, it's playoff baseball. It looked like we had one in hand, and we let one get away. There's no question about that. But they've been two great games.
Game 2 between the Red Sox and the Tigers is set for tomorrow afternoon. And sticking with the postseason, the St. Louis Cardinals lead the National League Championship Series 2-0 over the Dodgers. Los Angeles stud Hanley Ramirez was questionable to play tonight, but he is in the lineup playing with a broken rib. Let's check out the scoreboard. Those Dodgers are winning Game 3 2-0 into the 8th inning. Adrian Gonzalez and Yasiel Puig splitting the RBIs. In Monday Night Football, Chargers are leading the Colts 13-6 in the third. Quarterback Phillip Rivers has 169 yards and 1 touchdown for San Diego. And on the ice tonight, Boston teams failed to go 3 for 3 this weekend, with the Bruins falling at the TD Garden tonight 3-2. The Capitals win 4-2 over Edmonton, and wrapping up the scoreboard, the Wild win 2-1 over Buffalo. Stick around, Joe has more weather next.
All Care Home Care, the health care that you need in the comfort and privacy of your own home.
At All Care Home Care, our caring and compassionate staff of skilled nurses, occupational speech, physical therapists, dietitian, social worker, and home health aides will give you the professional care you need. Call 459-3002.
With All Care Home Care, you will feel so much better and be able to do so much more.
Remember, it's still your choice. For your care, call us and we'll be there.
Buy it at Barber Ford. It's a cut above the rest. Buy it at Barber Ford. Honest people where the deals are the best. Now is the time. Barber Ford is the place. The best cause I hear there's no mistake. can't buy better. You can't buy better than Barber Ford.
Barber Ford, Route 309 in Hazleton and on Route 11 in Exeter.
Everyone knows that Bottlenecks is the home of award-winning wings and mouth-watering steaks, but now a new tasty reason to stop by. Brand new fire-grilled ribs. A half rack of meaty, fall-off-the-bone St. Louis-style spare ribs, fire-grilled to perfection. And the best night to give them a try is Thursday for Rack 'em Up Rib Night, featuring the delicious ribs served with bottomless fries for only $9.95. Bottlenecks is open 7 days a week. The kitchen is open till midnight every day. There's always a reason to stop by Bottlenecks.
What do you see? Perhaps you're noticing the rusted fender or the dented side panel. Maybe the first thing your eye goes to is the worn interior. But look closer and you'll see something else. Value. At Harry's You Pull It, we see value in your old car and so will others. It's the reason we offer top dollar for your car. Junker, clunker, piece of tin, your car may have many names, but at Harry's, there's only one that matters. Value. Visit one of our 3 locations today in Hazleton, Pennsburg, and Allentown.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi Electric, Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600. WILN TV 35, first in live sports.
Hi, I'm Ron Jaworski. For the best in local TV sports, watch WILN TV 35.
WILN TV 35 has it covered.
Hi, my name is Vince Papelli. I'm a former Philadelphia Eagle wide receiver and special teams guy, and for local sports coverage, I watch only WILN 35.
WILN TV 35, the event, not just the highlights.
Well, definitely looking pretty nice even going into tomorrow. Hopefully you'll get a chance to enjoy tomorrow's weather if you have not gotten a chance to enjoy the last couple of days. Live 35 Skycast Doppler statewide. You see some specks of green here and there, but don't worry about that. That's not precipitation. Those are just false echoes coming off of the radar sites. So again, we're going to stay dry as we head through tonight. And as we go into tomorrow, our live Lehigh tire conditions outside our station in Hazleton, 56 degrees. Pressure coming in at 30.21 inches of mercury. And again, the winds continue to be relatively light. And as we go through tonight, I think the winds will stay relatively light. Temperature-wise right now, 48 degrees in Mount Pocono, 55 at the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton International Airport, 57 in Philly as well as Selinsgrove, 58 in Williamsport, 58 degrees. Also in a State College up in the Wyoming Valley area from Nanticoke through Wilkes-Barre, Kingston, and Lehman. Temperatures still holding in the mid to upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Satellite and radar, those couple of those clouds coming through. So tonight we'll go with partly cloudy skies. We'll see the breaks in the clouds, but again, we're going to continue to stay on the dry side of things, and we'll stay dry right through tomorrow. And I think we'll stay dry pretty much into tomorrow night. Part of our Wednesday at this point looking like it should be pretty nice, but then as we start going into Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening, that's when another system is going to come through that's going to give us a couple of showers, even possibility of a couple of them as we go into our Wednesday night, maybe a lingering one Thursday morning. And then once this system passes through, it's going to bring in some cooler air as we start going into our Friday, as we go into the weekend. And it's going to continue to bring in some much cooler air as we start going into next week. We hang on to one more dry day. This ridge of high pressure still hanging on tough into our region, but then just out toward the west there's going to be some showers, and then those will start to make their way toward the east. But talk about a pattern change. Oh yeah, it's coming, and it's coming as we start going into next week. By the ending part of next week and in a following week as we go into our Halloween, some significant changes to talk about. Big dip in the jet stream. That's going to allow the colder air and chillier air from up in Canada to filter into our area. And before all is said and done, like I said, enjoy these nice temperatures while they last, because as we go into early next week, we may not be getting out of the 40s and 50s for daytime highs, and then beyond that, eventually we're going to be looking at the possibility of some overnight lows dropping down into the 20s Yeah, I don't want to say that word, 20s, but unfortunately we have to. All right, extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys at Division of Arc Electric. Well, not looking too bad temperature-wise the next several days. 60s and then 50s, lower 50s as we start going into early next week. But again, the long-range forecast by the ending part of next week and the following week beyond that, we may not be getting out of the 40s. We may be looking at 42, 43 degrees for a high, overnight low, about 25, 26.
Well, I know we talked about it on Topic 8, but Beth, if you're dressing up for Halloween, wear warm clothes.
That's what it looks like at this
about
point.
20 degrees?
Well, at nighttime, I mean, at this point, we may be looking at probably 30s and lower 40s, but still, that's going to be chilly. And it has snowed in Halloween. Yeah.
All right. Well, we do have a winner from tonight's Wilty Center, Big Voodoo Daddy. Congratulations to Lucille Chrisman. Hope you have a great time. We will give out tickets tomorrow on Late Edition. See you at 5:30. Topic 8 tomorrow on Late Edition at 10.